welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. You know, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed our lives in a variety of ways, including our workplace culture. That's the focus of a new book out by Dr. Michelle Johnston. She's the chair of business at Loyola University, New Orleans. The book is called The Seismic Shift in Leadership: How to Thrive in a New Era of Connection. And today we are lucky to have Dr. Johnston here on Great Day to talk about her research. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Malik. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, I am so fascinated by your book. I got to read quite a few tidbits of it. And, you know, for people who have not gotten to read it yet, give us a little bit of a synopsis about what the book is about and why you wanted to write it.
Yeah. So I've been an executive coach along with a management professor. I've been an executive coach for about 15 years. And I started seeing that the old style of leading, that command and control, that authoritarian, which was really quite normal for years and years, it was no longer working. And so I was getting called in to coach these individuals who were really disconnected from their teams. And they inadvertently had created cultures of fear. And so I was getting all of this feedback and I was watching. I had a front row view and I was watching these leaders get pushed out of organizations and seeing the leaders who were embracing a much more servant leadership, team orientation. Those were the ones that were succeeding. And I wanted to get the word out that there was this seismic shift happening. And the good news is we can learn as leaders, because I fell into the trap too, Malik. I mean, when I was a brand new professor, I was all about command and control and power and this. And then you realize, wait, this is a whole new world. That doesn't work anymore.
Because we also think lots of times that that's what leadership is, right? You know, controlling and managing, making sure everything goes great. But in your book, it's really interesting. You interviewed so many different types of leaders. Again, you're looking at the book right there. You really focus on connection, which you say is an essential skill for leaders to have today. Why do you believe that? And moreover, for leaders who maybe lack that skill of connection because they want to be managers, right? How can they gain connection?
Yes, so it was really fascinating. Whenever I begin a coaching relationship, I conduct a 360 feedback. And so 360, hence the name, is I interview above, below, across. So the people that you interact with most frequently. So I have these big data books. So as I saw these leaders getting pushed out of organizations, I went back to the data to see if I could figure out what it was. And what's interesting, the reason why I came up with that, this is all about connection, is each of the leaders who had lost connection with their teams, that's why they were getting pushed out. But when you dig a little bit deeper into the data, Malik, I discovered that the reason why they had lost connection with their teams is because they weren't connected to themselves. They were trying to be somebody else.
That is deep. So, do you suggest that for maybe managers and leaders who may be struggling with that piece with their employees? Try to connect yourself first, then move on to the team?
That's exactly right. And so now what I do is whenever I begin coaching a leader, we start with, what's your story? What's your background? What are your strengths? What are your blind spots? Self-awareness is so important. It starts with that connection with yourself so that you can be comfortable in your own skin as a leader, really know who you are, have an authentic voice. And once you spend a lot of time working on you and the connection to self, then you are much better connecting with your team because the team then trusts you. You're real. And that's what I realized it takes, particularly in 2022. It takes real, genuine connection. So you can't put on a mask of perfection. You can't pretend you're somebody you're not. You can't act like a robot. You can't just bring your professional self to work. Those days are over. You got to be real and you got to be genuine.
That's a message for life right there, not just for leaders, but that is really, really good tips right there. And I'm curious, you know, we look to our leaders, right, for feedback on how we can be better at what we do. How can a leader get that same feedback from their employees, because say I don't like something that my leader is doing, but I don't want to tell them because I fear repercussion or that they're going to think of me differently. How can an employee give feedback to their leaders?
Great question. So two things. Number one, I'm advocating creating cultures of connection right now. That's what it's going to take. Cultures of connection. So that really does come from the top, and it comes from the leadership to say, we want your feedback. We want to attract the best employees. We want to retain the best employees, and we want the employees to really enjoy working for our organization. How do we do that? We build cultures of connection, which involves 360 feedbacks, annual appraisals of the leaders, not just of the people working below the leaders, but let's figure out what we're all doing really well, but let's figure out some of the things we can do even better. So I absolutely advocate for that. Now, if you're an employee who works in a company that doesn't use 360 and you're thinking, nobody ever asked for my opinion, yet I'm really struggling with my boss, I believe, Malik, it is all about how you frame it. So if you have one-on-ones with your leader, you can say, I want to be the best communicator I can be. I would love more time with you. Is there any way we can have some every other week one-on-one meetings? Or you can say, again, it's how you frame it. I want to be really successful in my job. What does success look like to you? And how can we together get there?
I'm over here writing notes. This is so good. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us this morning. We just offered a preview of your book. If you would like to pick up a copy, it's called The Seismic Shift in Leadership, How to Thrive in a New Era of Connection by Dr. Michelle K. Johnston. It's available now on Amazon, Target, and at Walmart. For more information, log on to michellekjohnston.com. Stick with us, everyone. We'll be right back.